A new generation of trainers stands at the foot of a mountain. Up at the peak sits the thrones of 4 kings. 2 thrones sit empty, and at their feet is a wave of veteran trainers aiming for greater heights. Who will come out on top? Find out now on The Weekly Remark!
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 12 of the Weekly Remark. I am once again your host, because with Dozer still being sick, he couldn't record his episode this week, so I said I would jump in again and try my best once again in bringing you all the news related to ARC. So let's hope Dozer will be healthier soon enough and back on the mic. So, let's jump right into the action. First of all, Platoon Wars. Platoon once again reigns supreme. They have taken the top spot, and with a couple of wins and a lot of bonus points last week. Azure cashed in the COV and the Plus Power and beat the IC champion to earn them over 3 points. Reggie cashed in a call-out, taking advantage of Nas hierarchy status, and earned 1.5 bonus points. And 9 Brecker losing hurt, but Hart and Otto came through with wins, and Otto getting his own share of 2.25 bonus points for the team, which kept the Heartbreakers in a strong second place. These 2 teams are the favorites to meet at Starcade 7 next week, but first they'll need to finish the job. From the outside looking in, we have House Habsburg and Despacito 2 in the final week for placement in Platoon Wars. Both the teams still have a chance, but bonus points will make all the difference. They need to make sure they can really rally around taking down the other 2 teams. But even still, at best, only one of those 2 teams can make it, while one of the current top 2 will move on. There is a chance for both Habsburg and Despacito 2 to make it, it's a super slim chance, and it requires Despacito's members to come back from inactivity, which in all likelihood won't happen. So, unfortunately, why do girls like bad boys been mathematically eliminated? There was a very, very tiny percent chance they could have still made it, but it required all 3 of the top trainers to win using both the COV and the PP. However, Kelly cannot afford to use both HPs, even if he got 12 Dark IVs before his match. So, sorry, but you guys won't be in the top 2. And these final battles will determine which 2 platoons move on to Starcade and crown contenders to the World Championship. Remind you again that for the teams on the outside, looking in, winning may not be enough. You'll either need to hope other teams lose outright, looking in you, Platoono, and the Heartbreakers, or you'll have to pad your wins with bonus points. Even if you don't care about those contender ranks, this is for the pride of your platoon. Will you step up and represent them? Those not in the wars or eliminated, you have the opportunity to play spoiler for the remaining teams. Try it out. It's fun. The in-person target for this week is Fire Gem. As always, we encourage the target to participate in all aspects of ARC, meaning Game Corner, of obviously League matches, and Dark matches. If he's shy, feel free to challenge him directly in Dark, and also convince him to return to Game Corner, at least this week, because as of the recording of this podcast episode, he hasn't yet voted on or participated in Game Corner. Please do come back and give others a chance to earn some imprison points. And now to you, dear listener, make your mark. These are the final weeks for you to make some impact. Win the Game Corner, become the best imprison hunter, set a new record, or maybe even win a championship. Don't sleep on the 4 kings. Those of you in the short list are still being evaluated. Looking at the whole year, but how you finish still matters a lot. And if you can achieve those, then become a highlight. Smans breaking bench streak, not taking the singles week spoiler points record, Abrand losing Dark Wars to a DQ. Make your mark, whatever it is. You still have a chance. Alright, enough of all that. Let's move on to last week's stuff. First of all, Hashog moved up to Ace Trainer, joining the few ranks of Otto, Smens, Venge, and I think Abrand. Oh, and Na. So one more in the elite troop of Ace Trainers. We have Evo, Hard, Akeli, and Firetem all moving up to Rising Star. Not Rising Star. That is bullshit. Moving up to. Oh yeah, it is Rising Star. I'm sorry. All right, my bad. Moving up to Rising Star, and Brecker sadly moved down to Rising Star once again after being an Ace Trainer for just a week. He moved down after losing to Abrand. And now, welcome back. The Dark Arena for this week is singles Fort Mons. Fort Mons is the meta where every Pokemon gets the power to specialize their strengths. Putting one of their attacks into the item move slot, all the primary and secondary effects are granted to the attacks in the move slots. So for example, if Scald is in the item slot, each of the Pokemon's attacks has a 30% chance to burn. If Absorb is in the item slot, each of the Pokemon's attacks heal by 50% of the damage done. There's countless powerful options for every Pokemon to abuse, but please be reminded that there only applies to damaging moves. So there won't be a 50% healing defog option, only for damaging moves. So, now then, let's get to the big part, battle breakdown. First, the HBs used in last week. We have the match Brecker versus Abrand, where we have a change of venue from Abrand changing from singles OU to singles RU, and both players using a plus power. And yet, that just helped Abrand even more because he won and got points from both the COV and the plus power. In the match Smens vs Otto, we have change of venue from Otto, changing from singles Little Cup, which is one of his specialties, to singles Monotype. And also, once again, the plus power used by both parties. And surprisingly, Otto won, which gave him 2 points as well, or giving 2 bonus points as well, one from change of venue and plus power. Then we have Hashog, who uses change of venue versus the IC champion Yui, changing from singles U-burst to singles OU, and he also used the plus power. And surprisingly, he won, which gave him a very, very big 3.25 points, I think it was, because he got change of venue, the plus power, the point difference, and the fact that Yui is the IC champion. So congratulations on that win. Then we have Evo using a stance change against Dan, changing fire to electric, and also using a plus power, which was the right move because he won. So he got 1 bonus point from that. And Venge used a plus power in his match against Juice, who had his world title shot, but Venge won both battles they did, so it was a clean 2-0 in this best of 3. So let's take a closer look at last week's battles. First of all, we have Reggie Nanos versus Na in singles UU, and Reggie beating Na, earning him 1.5 bonus points, which really helped his Platoon out. Then we have Sai versus Hard Tuang, with Hard winning in singles RU. We have Akeli versus Yopier in singles NU. Akeli winning this one, which also helped out a little bit, which didn't help that much in his Platoon Wars, because now he can't really afford any HPs this week to really make that much of a difference. Then we have Max losing to Marble Fall in singles Monotype, and Evo winning against Dan in singles UU, earning him a bonus point for the plus power and the point difference. We have Firetem beating me in singles PU, which got him a 0.25 bonus points because of the point difference again. And then we have Hashok versus Yui in singles OU, which was changed from singles Ubers, earning him 2.25 bonus points from all that COV and the Plus Power and the IC Championship. Then we have Otto beating Smens in singles monotype, also gaining him 2.25 bonus points for COV, the Plus Power and the point difference, as I said before. Then we have Brecka losing against Abrand singles RU, which earned around 2 bonus points for PP and COV. And last but not least, we have Juice, who used his world title shot against Venge, but Venge reigned supreme and took the win, defending his title in singles Ubers, earning him a bonus point for his PP. So the hierarchy didn't really change much, apart from Hashok joining. We still have Venge in first place with 11 wins and 1 loss, having a win percentage of 0.917%, or 0.917, no percent there, with a total of 27.67 points, which is just crazy. In second place, we still have Abrand with a win percentage of 84 and points being 21.17. Third place is Otto with a win-loss ratio of 7-4 and 14-16 points. Smens closely following by only 1 point difference with 13.08 points and a win-loss ratio of 6-6. And newly joined, we have Hashok with 8-4 and very close 12.92 points. If he wins this week and Smens loses, Hashok will even jump over Smens in the hierarchy. So big rises and falls this week. We have Reggie jumping up 5 spots in the hierarchy, which is just is not nothing. We have Kelly and Maro both jumping up 4 places in the standings, and Otto and Hashok going up 3 places. For the falls, we have this week Dozer losing 3 standings because he didn't battle last week. Max lost 4 standings because he lost against Marble, which is the 3rd time in a row. So I'm sorry. And we have Pierre losing 6 placings in the standings because this week he lost to Akali. So after looking at players, let's take a closer look at Platoon Wars. As I said before, Platoon has jumped up to first place once again with a point total of 18.43 and a win-loss ratio of 8-7. Then we have in second place Nitro and the Heartbreakers with 17.35 points. So if they do well enough, they can still climb back up to first place. But that would mean that at least 1 or 2 members of Platoon next week would have to lose. But I'm not all that well versed in those numbers and stuff, so I hope that Dart will talk to you a little bit more about this subject in Arcanum. In third place, we have our very own House Habsburg with 10.87 points. So a 7-point difference. It will be very difficult to get to second place, or maybe even first place, but the second place would be enough to just stay in to participate in the Starcade. But it's very difficult. These 7 points would mean that all members of NATO and the Heartbreaks and Platoon would have to lose, which I frankly don't see happening. So yeah, I think that's the list as it is now is how it will look in the end. In fourth place, we have Despacito 2 with 10.4 points. And in last place, we have Why Do Girls Like Bad Boys with a measly 6.75 points and a win-loss ratio of 5-9. So I forget the win-loss ratio. Nano and Heartbreakers and House both have 8 and 5 win-loss ratio. It's just the point difference is made because of all these bonus points and stuff. We didn't really use many plus powers and COVs and stuff, so yeah. And Despacito 2 has a win-loss ratio of 5-6. So a closer look at the Platoons reveals that Hashok is in first place with 8.65 points. And not just in first place in his Platuno, but also in first place overall of all the battlers. With a very good win-loss ratio of 4-1. He is a solid battler, this Platoon Wars. In second place, we have our former crazy guy of week 1 with all these bonus points he got, Smens, with just 6.68 points and a win-loss ratio of 2-3, which is the exact same as all the other members of Platoon have. So the other members are Reggie and Firejam with 3.1 and 1.85 points respectively. And then Platoon 2, Despacito 2, we have Dozer Sigashi. Just Dozer, your host of Weekly Remark himself, with 7 points. So even more points than Smens. But that is just because he has only played two battles, which he both won. So he still hasn't gotten a loss. But 2 battles to the other people's 5 battles. Yeah. He didn't really contribute much to his team here. In second place, we have Dart with 3 points and a 2-2 win-loss ratio, very even. Sarkis has only 0.4 points because he had a very unlucky block, so he has a win-loss ratio of 1-4. And then we have Shoops with still no points and 0 to win-loss ratio. Then we have Why Do Girls Like Bad Boys? First place, Akali with 3.6 points and a win-loss ratio of 3-2. He's the one holding this team together, if you can call being in last place holding together. And second place, we have Max with 1.9 points and a very unfortunate losing streak of 1-4. But I'm sure he might fare better in the coming weeks. Third place, we have our IC champion Yui with just 1.25 points and a win-loss ratio of 1-3. Missing 1 battle because Yui was inactive 1 week, so he or she couldn't contribute to the match this week. Things might be different if this wasn't the case. And in last place, we have Van Der with 0 points, and once again, just like last week, he's the same as Shoop's 0 to win-loss ratio. Platoon 4, or Nara and the Heartbreakers, are current second place in standings, is Seasbreaker in first place with 7.6 points, triumphing over both Smens and Dozer, and grabbing the second place of all battlers overall, with a 3-2 win-loss ratio. In second place, we have Otto with 5.25 points and a 2-2 win-loss ratio, also because he was inactive for 1 week due to personal happenings in life, I guess, if you want to call it that way. In third place, we have Hard Huang with a 4.5 points and a 3-1 win-loss ratio. Very good, I have to say. He always said he's here for the fun, and he didn't have really much of a winning streak going on when I talked to him a few weeks back. But 3-1 win-loss ratio in the Platoon Wars tells another story. And in last place, we have now with just slightly behind 4.35 points and a 3-2 win-loss ratio. And the last platoon, House Habsburg, sees Shadow in first place with 3.67 points and a win-loss ratio of 2-1. Shadow was, or is still, inactive since week 4, and he won't contribute much to our platoon anymore. So that's kind of bad for us. In second place, just 0.07 points behind is Dan, with a win-loss ratio of 3-2 and 3.6 points, which is the exact same number as both Marvel and Pierre have, with both having 3-2 win-loss ratio as well. So pretty good going there, team. And last place, you have yours truly with 1.6 points and 2-3 win-loss ratio. Last week's really were not the best. All right, enough of this depressing outlook on our platoon and the hopelessness I feel when looking at the table, because I just know it's over for our platoon. Let's move on to Dark. The Dark standings still see Venge in place number 1 with 43.9 points and 32-11 win-loss ratio. In second place, closely following by, just trailing by 3 points, with Abraham with 30-14 win-losses, so 3 losses more than Venge. If he keeps doing some dark matches the next 1 or 2 weeks, he might be able to overtake Venge and grab that first place. But we will see what the following weeks hold. Third place sees Otto with very, very big point difference of 17.79 points. So it's he won't be able to go to second or first place anymore, because that's just a crazy point difference of 23 points. So that just shows how much battles those two guys at the top did, because Otto has a win-loss ratio of 13-6, which means 19 battles total, and the other guys both have around 40 or 45, 44 battles, which is just crazy. In fourth place, we can see Dozer with 11 wins and 13 losses and 10.08 points, closely followed by Max with 8-5 win-losses and 9.85 points. So, now that we've got all the battle stuff done, we can move on to Game Corner. First of all, congratulations to Evo, because once again he got a perfect week. So that's not an easy feat to get a perfect week in 2 consecutive weeks. If he gets a perfect week next week and the week after as well, then he has had a he will have had a pretty crazy streak going on. The Chimp got very close, only missing his 2-point pick, but getting every other pick right. So it remains Evo, Chimp, and Abraham, Hashok, Reggie, all 3 with the same point total, made it to the top of this week's placements. So the Game Corner leaderboards haven't really changed much, because you still have me in first place, Evo in second place, only trailing 1 point behind me, which means I have to buckle in and make the best picks I can possibly make, because I don't really want to give up the first place to Evo. And in third place, we find once again Brecker. For the most 5-point picks, we see Venge with 7 5-point picks, which is crazy. He was also the most picked 4-point pick at 3. Together with Abraham, both of them have the same amount of 4-point picks. 3 and the 2-point picks have a very even spread, so here not worth mentioning more. Find out more about the Game Corner stuff on this week's episode of Economy, which should hopefully come out on, I don't know, Friday or Saturday, or somewhere on the weekend. Yes, start. Please, we need our economy. It's, first of all, the notes are fun doing, but we also want to know about stuff that's going on behind, and no one can do that better or can explain it better than you. So we are waiting. All right. The IV breakdown didn't really change much because we still have Max in first place with 190 IVs, getting close to those spicy 200 maximum, the spicy 200 cap. So I'd say spend a few in following weeks so as to not hit the cap of 200 and just losing IVs. Second place, we still have Yui with 176 points, closely followed by Evo with 169. For fourth place, we have Juice, 147, only trailing Abrand, only trailing 2 points behind him with 145. All right, and now we get to the point of time where we are very close to finishing our cycle, block 2 of our cycle. So we can take a look at all these records that have been made, that have been completed in the past, and if anyone is close to or might break them or has even broken them yet already. So let's jump right into that interesting stuff. First of all, let's start with the game corner. So the most spoiler points in the block is a record set by Otto, which with a total point of 85 points. And right now the record still stands because we have Smen still in the lead with 65 points. He's in second place, which allows Na to remain in the lead with 66. Sorry, that was a little bit confusing. Yeah, we have 2 final league matches remaining for the opportunity to break the record for 85. But that means that they can only try to win their matches, and that would mean that people have to pick against those 2. And looking back at the last few weeks, I don't think that will really happen. So I think, or I predict, that this record will not get broken, will stand for at least this cycle and maybe even the next. All right, the most points in game corner in the block is a record set by 82, set by Evo. And we already know this record cannot be broken because with me being in the first place right now concerning game corner points, at best, under the best case scenario, I can only reach 81 points in this block if I get every pick right in the next 2 weeks. So Evo can just sit back and be happy with the knowledge that his record will not be broken this cycle. But while it cannot be tied or broken, the crown is still up for grabs, with me and Evo tackling at the first and second place with only 1 point being apart. And yeah, the 8 to 10 picks left decide who might be the king for the next 7 weeks. So for unto good battle, Evo, may the better picker win. And then we have the most IVs earned in a block, which is a record that is currently open. So with the payout changes this block, the record was reset. So someone will get to set this record. Evo is currently leading by 1 IV with 30 total. And here we have the reverse scenario where I'm trailing him with 29, so only 1 point behind Evo. There are a couple of others who have 21 points, but this will come down to only me and Evo, because unless we both fail hard in the final 2 weeks, the others don't really have a chance to catch up. Like mentioned before, Evo is coming off back-to-back perfect weeks, but we'll see if I can keep up or if Evo will be able to take the first record once again. Secondly, we have the dark records, with most battles in the cycle being a record set by Dozer with 29 battles. I mean, dark matches have toned down in the last few weeks with Platoon wars going on and the cycle coming to an end. But the race between Abraham and Venge is still very close. But the Venge is letting him slip away a bit. Abraham leads the way with 44 dark matches, completed as of the writing of the notes. Not the recording of the notes, which is 2 days after notes were written. Yes, so something might have changed by then. But he leads and Venge trails by only 3 games. So as you can see, the record has already been broken. But we have to see who will get the crown on this in the end, because Venge can still attempt to get tied once again, or Abraham will just waltz into records books and keep the title. Then we have most dark IVs in a cycle, which is a record set previously by Abraham with 79 IVs, which he currently also leads in dark IVs with 131 so far. That is just a crazy amount of IVs. Venge is 118, so it's a bit easier for Abraham to hold his lead because there is a 13-point difference. But he will have to be active. He will have to stay active to keep the pace ahead, or Venge will just overtake him in a week if he is not careful and active. And the most points in the cycle is a record also set by Abraham with 26.7. Venge currently has 43.9 points on the dark ladder. Abraham second with 40.91. So this record is history. We have nearly doubled the record of the last record. So yeah, it's just crazy the amount of points those 2 guys get, especially if you look at the third place with this big of a point difference. And Abraham will either need to complete and win a lot more battles than Venge, or hope Venge loses battles here and there while Abraham continues to win. They have the same amount of wins at 30, but Abraham's 3 extra losses put him in a hole hard to come out of in the final 3 dark weeks. So Venge losing battles here and there, while not unheard of, is a bit of a stretch, I think. And those 3 extra losses really make the difference, which makes me think that if Venge keeps doing dark matches in the last weeks, then he will stay in first. If he doesn't, then Abraham will overtake and take first place here again, and maybe even take all 3 of those records for himself. And the last record of dark is the longest losing streak, which is a record set by Smens with 11 losses in a row. And he did it for the second time. He has reached 11 dark losses in a row. Does he have what it takes to make it 12 though, and break his own record, which is quite a strange record and strange to be proud of, if you want to say it like that. But or will he just try it maybe a little bit harder to make sure that he doesn't extend the streak? I mean, he's already in the record book, but if you break the record, you will be in the record book once again. So that's a good thing. That's the only good thing about that. And lastly, we have the league records, being IV spent in a cycle. That is in a record set by, once again, Abraham with 84. You can already see he's a guy setting all the records, because he's just doing everything here. He's just so active, and he gets everything. He is good at everything, so he gets a record. So we're in the final 2 weeks of the cycle, and Abraham has topped his record of 84 with a whopping 213 IVs spent. That is nearly 3 times as much, or 2.5 times as much as his previous record. Dozer is not too far behind with 195 IVs spent. And I think we may never see this kind of activity again from a single user, having more than 200 IVs spent. But it's still not over yet. We have 2 more weeks to get all you can out of your system and spend all the IVs you have. So if Aberrant doesn't spend much more and Dozer joins us again, spending all those IVs he has, then why not take the lead? And then we have the most bonus points in the cycle, which is set by Dozer with 5.5 points. And this one is also broken because we have Abraham in the lead with 10.5 bonus points. Vengeance Men are trailing by 3-ish points. It's around 3 points. And in powers and winning is needed to catch up. And lucky for Wench, he battles Abraham in the final week because Abraham has cashed in a World Champion title shot. So whoever wins that match stops the other one from gaining points. So we'll have to wait for this final week and this final championship battle to really see about how this record will end and who will stand at the top of the bonus point mountain. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. This was the Weekly Remark. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I might see you again next week if Dozer is still sick, because I'm starting to really enjoy doing this. And if Dozer's back again once again, then I hope you will have a great time with him. Thank you for watching or listening, and have a great week. I will see you again next time.